Okay, so let's have fun with some algebra here. We want to do factorization here. So let's look at this expression that we're given, which is here 15 plus 25x. So we need to find the highest common factor of 15 and 25x. We can look for the highest common factor of 15 here, the highest common factor of 25. So that number would be a 5. Okay, so 5 into 15, 3, 5 into 25. It's going to be 5 and then x. Okay, so this is basically what you have to do here. So once you have to do, you get a 5 into 3x. Okay, let's try out the other one there. If you were to factorize this one now, x, okay, x squared y plus y squared x to the power of 3. So what is the greatest common factor there? You need to look at these numbers. What's common here? We have an x and an x, but we have an x squared and an x cubed. So you take the smallest power, so x squared is going to be common. Now you look at the next factor, which is y to the power of 1 and y to the power of 2. So you're going to take y to the power of 1. Now you factor this into the first term here. X squared y into x squared y, going to get a 1. X squared y into y squared x3. So here we use our laws of indices. Remember, we are dividing, so just a 3 minus a 2, we get an x. And then for the y, it's a 2 here minus a 1, you get a 1. So this is going to be your final factorized form for this one. So your 1 plus your xy. So let's proceed here. So you can also check by multiplying to see whether what you have done is correct there. So let's look at another form of factorization. So here in this example you have 4 terms. You can see that, so rewrite that. X to the power of 3. Your first term you have 3x to the power of 2. Your second term you have your 4x. You have your 12. So I have 4 terms. So when you have 4 terms, you can group them into 2's like that and find the highest common factor. So let's look at this first 2. Let's say what's our highest common factor. We have a 3x squared there and a 3 to the power of 5, and then x to the power of 3. So we're going to take out our x squared. We have to take the factor there of these 2 common factors. X, take the one with the smallest power. So we've taken this x squared here. So now into x to the power of 3, remember, just say this one is this is going to be your numerator, this is your denominator, so it's going to be a 3 minus a 2, so you're going to get an x to the power of 1, which is just an x, plus this into 3x squared, you're going to get a 3. Then you proceed to look at this pair here. So what's common there? I see a 4 here and a 12, so 4 is going to be common. So 4 out, and 4 into 4x, I get an x. 4 into 12, I get a 3. So now of these 2, x plus 3 is now common, so I can just write x plus 3, which is common now. And in another bracket, I put these 2, x squared plus 4. X squared plus 4. So I'm done with my factorization. So you have to group terms and then look for common factors there. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do, and you end up with an expression that looks like that. Okay, x squared plus 4, x plus 3. Okay, so let's look at the next example here. So for these ones, these are quadratic expressions. A quadratic expression is an expression set that you have the highest power of x of of the highest power that you have there of an unknown is going to be what? It's going to be 2. So this is a quadratic expression because our highest power there is 2. And then in the middle you have an x term, so 6x plus 8, and then you have a constant. So that is a quadratic expression there for you. So if you want to factorize this, you need to just imagine 2 brackets here, and this is supposed to be your final form. And since you have an x squared here, you put an x and then x, and now you have to look for something here. Okay, so let's redo this one. Let's say it x squared here, so we got disturbed, minus 6x plus 8. So this is our expression. So imagine the final form, which is going to look like this. We're supposed to have an x here and an x here because we have our x squared term there. Now the next thing to do here, if the coefficient of x is 1, this is the easiest form of quadratic expressions that you're going to deal with. So the coefficient of x squared is a 1, so this makes things easy, as you shall see when we do for the second one, whose coefficient of x squared is 10. So we need to look for a number with 2 numbers which when multiplied will give us 8. So we need to look for factors of 8 that we can add to get a minus 6. So you can think of I just thought of a 2 and a 4. What can I do to a 2 and a 4 in order to get a minus 6? If I say minus 2 plus minus 4, I'll get a minus 6. So these are the 2 factors that I'm looking for. So I can say minus 2 here and minus 4. So what we can do is we can check whether this is correct. So let's do so. Let's check to see whether our expression there, when we remove the brackets, we'll get back the original expression that we started off with. So let's do that and see whether that's going to be the case. So let's multiply this on this x here and this x, I get an x squared, and this x here and this minus 4, I get a minus 4, and this minus 2 here and this x, here I get a minus 4x, this minus 2 and this x, I get a minus 2x, and then this minus 2 and this minus 4, I get a plus 8. So let's simplify it. We are supposed to get x squared minus 4x minus 2x minus 6x, then plus 8. So I got my original expression. So that means I have factorized correctly. So basically this is the idea. Or you can do it the longer way where you do this. So let's let's, instead of just imagining those 2 brackets and putting those numbers there, what you can do is you can expand this, your x squared, so that you factorize by grouping as we did in the first case, 6x plus 8. So what I have to do, I got my factors already. It's a minus 4 and a minus 2, right? So these are the 2 numbers, remember. So I can rewrite this as x squared minus 4x, doesn't matter which one I start with, minus 2x plus 8. So I now have 4 terms, so I can group them. Let's start with this first pair. Again, my common factor there is an x. So if I say x into x squared, I get an x. X into minus 4x, I get a negative 4. And then here my common factor is a negative 2, and okay, let's proceed. Negative 2 to into negative 2x, I get an x, and negative 2 into plus 8, I get a negative 4. So I can see that my negative 4 is now common here. So what it means is that I can say x minus 4 bracket, I take these terms outside the brackets, and then x minus 2 like this. So this is my final expression. So basically this is what you come up with. Okay, Yes, x minus 4, x minus 2. Okay, and you can check by expanding like we did. So let's try it for the second one, which is 10x squared. Let's try that one out. 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So this time I do not have a 1 here, so I'm not going to find the factors of negative 6 that give me a plus 11. Rather, I have to multiply these two and get a 60. So I will now look for the factors of 60 that will give me 11. So I can say what, 1 times 60 or 2 times 30. I can say or 3 times what? Times okay, I can say 4 times 15, for example. 4 times 15, I'm supposed to get a 60. I can tell already here that there's a difference of 11. If you say 15 minus 4, you get an 11. So that must be what I'm looking for here. So if I now expand this so that I have my 4 terms and then I group and factorize, I should have a plus 15 and minus 4, so that's it. It will work just fine. It will work just fine. So let's do that. Let's now expand this. So 10x squared, I can say minus 15x plus 15x, sorry, minus my 4x minus 6. So I'm going to deal with this first pair and then this last pair. So what's the common factor there? I see 5x. So 5x into 10x squared, I get 2x. 5x into 15x, I get 3. Okay. Then here I see what's my common factor there at 2. Okay, a negative 2 would do. So negative 2 bracket. So inside the bracket, so I'll put the bracket here. Negative 2 into minus 4x, I get a plus what? 2x. And then negative 2 into negative 6, I get a plus 3. You can see that this one is not common. Okay, so what about that? So this one is not common. So I can now say, I can now take these two as a bracket. So 2x plus 3, and now multiplied by my 5x minus 2. Okay, so this should be my final expression for this one. Okay, all right, so this is how you do your factorization. We're going to continue to have more fun with algebra. So that's your final expression there, 2x plus 3 and 5x minus 2. You can expand it to see whether you get the original expression of 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So let's continue to have fun with our algebra, with our laws of indices, logarithms, and we're going to do solving equations. We're going to do a lot of things. You can always contact me for your lessons, your online tuition. We are going to be doing past examinations in our ZIMSEC, Cambridge. We're going to cover all of that. You can also contact me for your chemistry lessons. If you know me by now, you know that that's my area. So A-level chemistry, O-level chemistry, always get in touch for this and more. So I'll see you in the next video and enjoy your studies.